It's a brand new year, and with new years come new goals, new visions, new dreams. I think a lot of us want to make 2022 our best travel year yet. But if you're struggling with trying to figure out exactly where it is you even want to go this year, then you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down and showing you how to create a travel vision board. And this is going to be a great way for you to get specific about your travel goals so that you can execute them and make your travel dreams actually come true this year. And also, this is great if you want to make something aesthetically pleasing that's really fitting your taste. So if you want to learn how to do that, stick around because I'm going to show you. If you're not used to planning out your goals for the year or for a season of life, you may be asking yourself, what is a vision board? A vision board is essentially a visual representation of your goals and your dreams. So for me, I'm someone who's type A. I'm a big planner. I'm a big visioner. I love to see things big picture. And so creating vision boards for my life or for a year or specific goals is great for me because it's motivating for me to see visual representations of what it is I actually want to do. And oftentimes when you have what might feel like some really big, lofty goals, sometimes visualizing it can be difficult. And sometimes doing this brings a little bit more clarity to what it is you actually want to do so that it goes from just a lofty goal to something that's achievable. And according to some psychologists, having this visualization of your goals can increase your motivation and your confidence in actually achieving them. Plus, it's also fun to just be creative and artsy and crafty, right? And there are all sorts of ways that you can create a vision board. So usually people do vision boards on large posters or construction paper with old magazine cutouts. And you could put words, inspirational quotes, Bible verses, pictures, anything that motivates you and gets you going and really focused and honed in on your goals and your dreams. Now, this is a little bit different from a mood board, which usually someone will create to express or communicate an idea or a concept. And mood boards oftentimes are great when you have a project that needs a lot of collaboration. So they're not technically the same thing. So the vision board that I'm going to create is specifically for travel for 2022. Now, I'm going to be making mine digital because I want to make it a wallpaper on my iPad, but you can make it however you want. Feel free, do you. So for the digital travel vision board that we're creating today, here are some of the materials that you'll need. An iPad, laptop, or desktop computer. I am going to be using my iPad Pro, 4th generation iPad Pro that does have a 2nd generation iPad pencil. So if you're going to be creating this on your iPad, you may need a digital planning app like GoodNotes or Notability. You'll also need a digital notebook. I like to use the Notes app that comes in the Apple ecosystem, but you can use a pen and paper if you want. You can also use a Word doc, a Google Doc, or an empty page in Mac Pages. So you're also going to want to use a design platform like Canva or an illustration app like Procreate. Also, you can use something like Photoshop, Google Docs, Microsoft Word, or Mac Pages. I'm going to be using Canva today because I'm mildly obsessed with Canva. You can also just sign up and create an account for free. I do love Canva and I'm going to be using Canva today. Another thing you might consider using is Pinterest and also Google Images. But again, if you're doing a physical, poster board version of this, then definitely hit up your local craft store, get a large poster board or large construction paper. And in that case, you'll probably want to have a notepad, some pens or pencils, markers, glue or tape, a pair of scissors, and some old magazines that you don't mind cutting from. You can also get a cheap frame from Amazon, Target, Goodwill, if you want. So then when you're done with your vision board, you can put it inside that frame and hang it on your wall so you can see your beautiful travel goals laid out before you. All right, so now that we've gathered all of our materials, it is time to brainstorm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a moment and write down all of the places that you'd like to travel to this year in 2022. I'm gonna do mine actually in a notebook from GoodNotes. So there's no wrong answer for this. And this is, again, designed for you, that we're actually focusing only on this year, on 2022. So if you have a list of 50 places, you have a list of 50 places. If you have a list of 2, you have a list of 2. Now that we have our list of places that we'd like to go to this year, I now want to brainstorm even more and narrow it down just a bit. Think about my time, my schedule, my budget, and realistically look at my list and say, okay, these may be the places that I want to visit this year, but what can I realistically do? So for example, I know that I would love to travel to Japan for the year 2022. Given that we're still and I've got a full schedule ahead of me, and knowing my budget probably does not stretch as far as Japan, I'm just gonna go ahead and cross Japan off the list. No matter how painful it may be to cross a destination off that list, you gotta do it and narrow it down in order for it to actually be achievable. So if it's too out of the box for your budget, your time, your schedule, your capacity, it's gotta go. Also, when it comes to travel goals as well, we don't have to solely stick with destinations, right? Also add the types of travel that we wanna do as well. So if you're new to solo travel and you wanna actually take your first solo trip this year, go ahead and put that on your vision board. So now I've got my finalized travel list. So now take a moment, scroll through Pinterest, scroll through Google, look at travel magazines, images, quotes, text, and gather all of them. What I would say is the more specific, the better. So for example, if I know that Savannah, Georgia is on my travel list this year, then I want to find actual photos of Savannah, Georgia. So that's why I think if you are doing it physically, it's great to use old magazines. You also want to make sure that you're going on Google or you're using travel magazines that actually show real pictures of Savannah, Georgia, so that we can actually take it from our head and a lofty dream into an actionable, achievable goal. Now, if you really want to get fancy and specific with it, what you can do is find a photo of yourself, cut yourself out, and paste yourself in that destination so that you can really visualize and see yourself in that destination. Once you have a photo or a text or image that you like, you can go ahead and save that in a digital folder. I like to keep that folder on my desktop so I know exactly where it is and it won't get lost. Now that we have our images, our texts, our quotes, now it's time to get visioning. Because I know that I'm creating my travel vision board to be a wallpaper on my iPad. And again, you don't have to use Canva. You can do this on Microsoft Word, Photoshop, Google Docs. So the first thing you want to do is once you go into Canva, you're going to click at the top right on Create a Design and go all the way down to the plus sign at the bottom left that says Custom Size. And I have an iPad Air 4th generation. So I know that my dimensions are going to be 2360 by 1640. Now, because I primarily use my iPad vertically over horizontally, I'm going to flip those numbers. So for me, I am going to put 1640 as my width and my height as 2360. If you want to create a travel vision board to put on your phone and have it as a wallpaper on your phone, which is such a good idea because then you can really see your travel goals just every day as you log into your phone. But I would Google the size of your actual phone that you use, whether it's Android or iPhone, and then put in Canva. That should give you the dimensions that you'll need to create on Canva. I did upload a couple of photos that I took personally on some of the trips and cities that I want to revisit, but now I'm gonna upload all of those photos that I saved from Google Images and Pinterest. Again, you can put it in a folder and then take that entire folder, drag and drop it into Canva. I am just gonna upload it. So I put them in I went ahead and saved them in my photos, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add them here. And they're adding here on the left-hand side. So now that everything is in Canva, you're ready to go. Now it's time to create your actual vision board. What I like to do is I'm gonna do mine kind of in a scattered collage way, and I'm just gonna have a collage with a bunch of overlapping images and text. But if you're unsure of how you want it to look, maybe you want it to be have a little bit more symmetry, what you can do is go over to the left-hand corner under Elements. You can pick Frames and Grids. You can see that there's different outlines here. There's one that's 2 by 2. There's one that's 3 long rectangles, 3 rectangles horizontally. You've got a big image here with 2 on the right. So you can kind of pick any sort of template that you want as well, and you can go ahead and pick that and then use the photos that you have and go ahead and have them fill any one of the squares and do it that way. If you want to do that as well, you can. I'm not going to do mine that way. I am going to, the first thing that I'm going to do for mine is I'm just going to pick a really nice, soft, bright pink there. I want to start uploading it. Oops. I think I want to make this in the center here. I want to put this one in the center, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab another photo. So I have a photo here of me in Savannah. Savannah is just, I love Savannah, and I really would love to go back and visit this year again. So I'm gonna put Savannah kind of front and center. Next, I think I want to put a quote. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this "do what you love" quote, which is, I'm gonna put that quote there in the corner. I'm gonna add another image. I'm gonna add another image, and I'm just gonna keep adding images. So essentially, to use Canva, a lot of it is just click and drag. If you have the Apple Pencil, you can use that to resize an image, make it larger or smaller. You can do the same with your fingers. If you're on a desktop, which is normally how I like to do it, you can use the mouse. And I'm gonna go over to the left under text, add a heading. The only thing is, when you're using the free version, when you see all the fonts that come down, that little crown that's gonna be on the side of some of them, that just means that it's Canva Pro. And for Canva Pro, you do have to pay. But if you're not gonna take that leap just yet, you're very new to Canva, or you're just using it for your vision board, then I wouldn't pay. I would just use the free Canva and just avoid the texts that have the crown on them. I think I'm done. I think I have something that I am really happy with. So there it is. That is my travel vision board for 2022, and I absolutely love it. But that is it. That is it. This will give me a very solid view of my travel goals for 2022, and I can actually visualize it and see where I want to go. Now, if you did create one of these digital travel vision boards, then definitely tag me on Instagram, because I'd love to see it. Now, if you are one of those people that wants to solo travel this year and put your first solo trip on your travel vision board, then here is what to do next.